There were two birds living on the same tree, a lower bird and a higher bird. And the lower bird went on eating the bitter and sweet fruits that were on the tree. And when it gets a sweet fruit, it would be happy. When it gets a bitter fruit, it would be sad. And this went on for years, precisely for 32 years. And then this lower bird looked up and saw a higher bird, a bird which was not interested in the fruits of the tree. It sat there watching over everything as a witness. It neither wanted to eat, nor was it that it did not want to eat. It was just there. After a long and deep thinking, the lower bird, who always admired the upper bird, told itself, "Can I also be like that, which is unaffected by whatever happens around? It's not interested in the bitter and sweet fruits of the tree. It's only interested in the peace that it experiences, in the bliss that it experiences as a witness." And slowly and steadily, inspired by that equanimity, by the bliss, by the peace of the upper bird, the lower bird strived and hopped one branch at a time in its striving to realize what that upper bird is like. And in the process, it had to give up eating bitter and sweet fruits, for its goal to reach the upper bird was more important. And so, branch by branch, as it hopped up and finally reached the topmost branch where the upper bird was seated, in a span of 11 years, it realized there was no other bird. There was no upper bird, there was no lower bird. It was the same bird which one, when thought that it was destined to only experience the joys and sorrows of life and struggle every day to make itself happy, it was called the lower bird. But the moment it withdrew from this daily struggle to enjoy things, to experience things, but rather be a witness, it realized that it was the same bird on the upper branch too. This is not one person's story. This is the story of every one of us. Some people might have climbed a few branches up earlier. Some might be still there on the lower branches. But we are all sitting on the same tree, striving to realize what that upper bird is, what it is to be like that upper bird. The struggle to give up this idea of being a lower being is the struggle of a spiritual aspirant. At times you do find sweet fruits in the world and you become quite entangled in this idea of enjoying more. But once in a while, the tree of life does send some bitter fruits our way. And that is the time when we look up and see, can't I be like that upper bird? Our sorrows, our setbacks, our struggles in our lives are a message from that upper bird, that it's time that you look up and don't you continue to live that lower life anymore. In this world, we need examples. Examples whom we can see and we can follow. Examples that will infuse confidence in us that if so and so can do, we can also achieve that sooner or later. And that is the story of every master who descends for the ascent of the seeker. In the month of July, in the year 2011 is when the story began here in Mudenhalli. The stage was Anandam. The setting was this beautiful natural setting, and the background was that a descent wanted an ascent. For the descent cannot carry on in the same body anymore. But still, an example had to be set, an example that people could relate to. People could feel that this is just one of our kinds. People who could get inspired by seeing if this person can do, we can also do. And the whole process was to just make an example out of that lower bird, so that many other lower birds also look up to becoming that upper bird. This is the essence of the whole story. Everything else is just sometimes even unwanted detail. But the essence of the story is this. The time for man to realize God within his or herself is the time which is now. Until we give up craving for the sweet or bitter berries, we cannot ascend. And then once we ascend, it does not matter whether the berries are sweet or bitter. It's all the same to the upper bird. So this is the story of every one of us. And there is no special reason why we should celebrate a day like this. This is just another date on the calendar. So many dates have come, so many dates would come and go. But the idea of gathering together is to remind ourselves of the purpose for which we are born. Everything else is secondary, everything else is unnecessary, even unwanted. The only thing that is necessary is we all rise branch by branch, day after day, to reach that realization that we are that bird. There are no two birds in the first place. We are that upper as well as lower bird, provided we put efforts to realize this truth. So what is the role here? The role is to just help everybody climb one branch at a time, to realize who you truly are. And that is all the role is. The service projects, all the various initiatives in so many countries are just ladders or just ways which will help us to climb the next branch. And we can keep rising above and above. And all those who participate and become a part of these wonderful service initiatives, I'm sure they have climbed a branch or two or even more in the last 11 years. You know better, because you alone know on which branch you are sitting now. But I have seen the transformation in people. I have seen young and old, new and the old devotees, so many people, so many children. The kind of transformation that has happened in the last 11 years, it's truly, truly divine. Small children talk about divinity and self-realization. Also a commitment to a lifetime of service to society. This has not happened before. This has not happened in 96 years before. This is what is happening now. Because this is the final reason, the final phase of the great grand mission of Sai. To uplift humans and help them realize their divinity. Path will not be easy. Don't ask for easy paths, because all easy paths only take you to the lower branch, not the upper one. The upper one is the path of struggle, path of sacrifice, path of love and service. 11 years ago, I was told, be selfless, be fearless, and have no shame, which means be shameless when we have to do something good. Because if you do bad, there are so many people doing bad around you that you will just become one of them and you won't stand out. You won't have to worry. Whereas if you set out to do something unique and different, something that nobody does, then you are going to be singled out. And people are going to ask questions of all kinds. And that is when you have to be fearless of all the comments, remarks, all the questions and doubts, even obstructions and impediments. You have to be fearless. And you have to be selfless, because you can't do this for your own sake. Your upliftment also is for the sake of others' benefit. Not even for your own happiness, but for everyone's happiness. And therefore be selfless. Don't ask for anything in return, not even an acknowledgement or a word of gratitude, but keep doing what you have got to do. At the end of it, come what may, whoever thinks whatever of you, do not be ashamed, do not feel shy, do not hesitate. These were the cardinal values that were taught to me by my master. And today, I don't look at Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba as a divine incarnation. He is one, definitely, no doubt. Or somebody who's a man of miracles, as many put, a man who has provided so many free projects, service projects to humanity. Yes, all that is him. But above and beyond, he is a guru. A guru who will teach us to realize our true selves. And the path that he has taught is that of selfless service. Last 11 years can be roughly divided into 3 portions. I am speaking on behalf of Sri B.N. Narasimha Murthy ji also, who is under the weather still, but I am sure he will join us soon in hale and hearty. If he was there, he would have definitely given us a historic account. But I will do his job for today for a change. The last 11 years can be roughly divided into 3 phases. And I've spoken about it earlier. Roughly 3.5 years or so you can think of. The first phase was that of Sankarshana, to attract people to this mission. So what it demanded of us, to go home to home, door to door, meet people, tell them about what is happening, and tell them something that makes them believe in it, and convince them and bring them here to this holy land. First 3.5, 4 years, silently this work was going on. 2011 to 2014, 15, you can say so. Then came a change, an acceleration in the mission. And Sandarshana started. So far, everything was behind the scenes. Nobody knew what's exactly going on. But the second phase started, and people knew. Everybody came. Premamritam was built. So many ashrams were built. Projects started happening at a galloping pace. Everybody came. Everybody understood what is going on. That was the phase of Sandarshana. A lot of conversation, a lot of meeting, a lot of discussion started. People started meeting face to face. So far, it wasn't like that. And then the final 3.5 years, approximately 2017-18 onwards, that was that of Sankramana. Sankramana generally is considered as a transition phase, but I call it as a phase of ascension. Because transition can happen sideways also, but ascension happens upwards. And that is the phase when you start growing upwards. And you can clearly see how this mission changed gears then. Lot of talks about Brahman, lot of talk about self-realization. Service was no more the only thing being discussed. Much more than that. And every child, every woman, every man, everybody in the mission knew this is the phase, this is what we are supposed to achieve. And that is when this ascension began within and without. And today is the completion of this 11-year phase, and ascension has been completed. And that is why it is a significant July, because it started in the July of 2011. Today is the July again. And this is where this wonderful, very intriguing, very intimidating, but nevertheless interesting story unfolded. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of Narasimha Murthy ji, Sri Srinivas ji, and Isaac Taggart, none of them are here today for some reason or the other, but they are the ones, the 3 wise men, who came following the star and found the purpose of their lives. They offered themselves to this cause, this mission, and today all of them stand tall as examples of surrender and service. But this is what the true mission is, the ascension of man. And the way, the path is through selfless love and selfless service. So when Narasimha Murthy said, we must celebrate this occasion now. You know, by nature I am quite shy of public appearances. And I had to really swallow a lot to keep pace with my master and keep doing what was asked of me. Given to me, I would hide behind somewhere in the corner of the hall and enjoy the show. But who knew the spotlight would be on me? I never knew that. But slowly, steadily, just out of devotion and commitment to the master. Whatever was sent had to be done. There was no two ways about it. And this is what happened, and that is how we came this far. All of us have come this far. It's not just my journey, it's everyone's journey. All of us have moved a branch or two up on the tree. And that is the story divine. And I know in times to come, it's going to be a very glorious chapter in the mission. This decade, starting from today, is going to be one of the most stupefying and wonderful decade in the human history. And this place, Mudenhalli, so to say, nobody knows it, it's the back of the beyond, but this will become the epicenter of a great revolution, a spiritual revolution around the world. And this is where it begins. 10 years ago, if I had told we are going to have some 7, 8 super specialty hospitals and some, I do not even have count, Bhuvna has better count of things, some 30, 40 institutions, a university which all runs free, lakhs of children being fed. Tell me if in 2011 in July had I come and told this is what we are going to do in the next 10 years, who would have believed? But all that has happened. But today with the confidence that you would believe since you have seen, I can say that the next 10 years is going to be glorious years, something that has never happened in the human history. And it would not be achieved by some great descent from the top. It will be achieved through people who will ascend and realize all this. So be ready for such a wonderful time that is coming our way. So to call a birthday, but it's just an occasion to remind ourselves and even understand what is going on. On this day, generally, the one whose birthday it is, he can demand a gift, isn't it? You can always demand, because that is why birthdays are generally celebrated. Children are always excited about their birthdays because they know on that day nobody will scold them, come what may. Nobody will tell them anything. They can do as they please. And at the end of it all, they'll get gifts. So I'm sure today nobody can scold me. Nobody can say anything about me. And more importantly, I can demand gifts. And so here I am. All this is just to demand something from all of you. Are you ready to give me? So I ask from you that which my master asked from me. I want your selflessness. I want your fearlessness. And I want a bit of shamelessness. Nobody, don't care what others think of you when you do good things. So these are the 3 gifts that I expect from every one of you. Not only those who are in this hall, those who are watching this live or who are going to watch it in few hours because of the time zone difference. To them also, this is my demand. If they feel that they love me, they are my followers, they want to follow this message and mission, that this is the gift that they must give me. They must become more selfless, in fact, completely selfless, completely fearless, and have no shame in saying, thinking, or doing good in today's world. Whoever says whatever to you, it does not matter. At the end, I said, if nothing remains with us, this love will still remain. And in this love, we will survive. Not just survive, we will thrive. And this love is all that is needed at the end of it. So I ask of you this one gift, which is only one. It's not 3, it's actually only one. One will become me. How am I? I'm selfless, I'm fearless, and a bit shameless too. And this is what I learned, and I have to teach this to you. And I'm sure through your life, you'll teach this to so many more people. I'm a little unconventional guru that way. I don't expect you to learn Vedas and Upanishads and by heart all those scriptures. You may not, it's up to you. I don't expect you to go on pilgrimages and do pada pujas to me or put a photo and put garlands on it. I don't appreciate even that. You may or you may not do, it doesn't matter to me. But what truly matters to me is whether you follow the message, come what may. And the message is that of selflessness, that of fearlessness, to serve the society, to do what is right. Be courageous. Spirituality is not for the weak-minded. Nayamatma balahinena labhyaha, Kathopanishad says. It's not to be achieved by the weak-minded, fearful people. It is to be achieved only by the courageous. So today, as we celebrate the closure of one phase, it is the beginning of another. And as I said, another decade, another 10 years from now is going to be glorious. But whether it will be glorious for you or not is something that depends on you. It will be glorious for the world for sure. But whether it will be personally glorious for you or not, it is something that depends on how much of yourself you give away in the pursuit of that perfection. So each one of you will enjoy only to the extent of your own involvement and participation and effort. See? But let me tell you, the view from the topmost branch is wonderful. It's very serene, it's peaceful, it's calming, it's satisfying, and there is no desire left after that for eating these sweet and bitter berries anymore. You can be yourself, unaffected by anything around you. And that peace, that calm, that bliss is something that everyone must experience. And that is my struggle to teach all of you, to convince you that you must experience that which I am experiencing up on the upper branch. So may you all, day after day, strive, even struggle if it should be so, but never give up, never go down another branch. Always try to rise above. And I'm sure a day will come when this whole place will be full of Atmagyanis. When Brahmagyanis will be walking on the roads of India and the world. When every person, young or old, would know what self is all about. And therefore, everybody will be free from all misery and sorrow. Each one of them would be completely, perfectly happy and contented. That is the world that I have set out to build. And I need each one of you to be a part of this great, great mission that is unfolding. We are very fortunate that it could have been anybody out of close to 8 billion people in the world, but these are only few hundred thousands of us. And that's all God wants. We don't need the whole world to change the whole world. We just need a few good people who are committed, who are selfless and fearless, who can be change agents, who can be agents of transformation. And through their lives, they will tell the rest of the world how they can become better too. And that is the greatest service we can do. There is an example for you to follow, and you become an example in this process so that many more can follow you. This is my, as I said, I can demand, right? So this is my demand from you, that you have come all the way. Don't go away halfway. Complete the journey. Ascend the tree. Become that one bird that we all are. And realize that bliss, that peace, that joy that only comes to you when you realize your divinity. So I bless you all for all your sincere effort that I'm sure you're going to put on this path you're already putting. May you all realize that self. May you all become that self. And in that realization, may we all become one. This is my only aspiration in life. This is my only prayer. This is my only desire, if there is one. And I'm sure this desire will be fulfilled through each one of you. Again, remembering the great contribution and faith that has been shown by every one of you. They say, blessed are those who do not see yet believe. Today, if the world believes in all these things, it's because they can see so many things happening. But you were the ones who came early, in a way, early bird on the tree, and you believed and did everything in your might to bring it this far. I'm sure with your example and inspiration, thousands and thousands, millions of more will be inspired. So consider yourselves blessed, and I'm so happy to have all of you and all those who are watching this program as a part of this wonderful Sai family, which is only expanding every day. May we embrace everyone in this loving embrace of divinity. May all of us realize this divinity and be always happy. With these words of blessings, I conclude.